What's up, beer people? How y'all doing this week? Oh, we got a special show for you this week. This week I recorded at a charity event in Goodyear, Arizona called Brews with the Bravest. It is an event where the proceeds went to the Goodyear Unified Firefighters Charities. So, they raise money for the firefighters so the firefighters can give back to the community. Maybe buy themselves a new hose or something. And no, but seriously, it was a great event. There was quite a few breweries there. There was Catalyst, Crafted Ales from Tempe, Pinnacle Brewing out of Scottsdale, and Smelter Town Brewing out of Clarkdale, Arizona. I don't know why I forgot them because I actually talked to Jeff from Man, I'm all over the place, from Smelter Town. And so I talked to quite a few people. The first one you'll hear is Laura Hansen. She is the co-owner of Saddle Mountain Brewing Company in Goodyear, Arizona. And then next I talked to Charlie. He is a social influencer and chef from the Valley of the Sun. He goes by the Instagram handle Charlie Craft Chronicles. And it used to be Charlie Culinary Chronicles, but he got hacked. Poor guy. He's trying to get his old account back, so he's trying to start anew. He's on Instagram, Charlie Craft Chronicles. Check him out. And then after that, I talked to Jeff from Smelter Town. Great dude. He's an Eagles fan, and but he's like an assistant brewer. He goes out to events and pours. He does a little bit of everything, he tells me. And so I talked to him about his journey and how he got his job over at Smelter Town, plus all the great stuff up there in Clarkdale at Smelter Town. And then last but not least, I talked to Lou Bega. That's right. Who let the dogs out himself. No, he's a firefighter at Goodyear, Arizona. So it was great to be able to talk to him, to talk to someone who is, who has boots on the ground and skin in the game, as it were. And so, it was really cool to talk to him and get his intake and his perspective. And so I had a great time, great event. They had School of Rock there, which it's actually School of Rock, just like the movie. They have a music school and they teach kids how to play rock and roll music. And there's a couple ways the kids, and they were a little nervous at first, but once they got their groove, man, they were rocking and rolling, Then they had a couple out of Nashville. I want to say their names Luke and Kaylee. Then they had Casey and the Moonshine Band. And those were the three during the main event. And then at the after party, they had a phenomenal singer. Her name was Lacey Rashea. I think that's how you pronounce her name. So that was fun there. That was the entertainment. And then some of the vendors that were there, they had Custom RTIC, Craft Culture. They make custom, like they do stuff, the lines and stuff for the different breweries. And they also made some jockey boxes out of Arctic coolers that they raffled off. It was pretty cool stuff. Check it out on my Instagram. I have a little snippet on my post. They have Valley Rays, and they sell sunglasses. They also had Highland Design Company. They were custom making t-shirts for you. I bought one myself. I got the logo on the front chest and then the back logo, but you could leave the one on the front chest off or put just on the front. They had all sorts of different combinations you could do. So I got a shirt from them. Valley Ray sunglasses. They had some really cool looking sunglasses. And then Hansen Harvest. She was right next to me, her and her husband. I think she's related to Laura somehow. I didn't really get to talking to them, but they were selling, she makes custom made, upcycled or, repurposed vessels into pots for succulents and cacti. And it was pretty cool little setup they had there. And then they also had SPC tattoos, and they were tattooing people right there on the spot. It's pretty cool. I had a great time over there. Unfortunately, my talk with Laura got cut off somehow. I have no idea how it got cut off. I'm a little bit upset about that. I don't know if my foot kicked the battery pack underneath and it stopped the recording, or if my hand pressed the button. But I got most of it, I think. I think it came out pretty good. And so I apologize to Laura. I guess I'll have to have her back on, right? Finish our conversation. And then after that is Charlie, and then Jeff, and then Lou Bega, firefighter extraordinaire. All right, so before we get to the show, don't forget to follow us on Untapped and Instagram. Search Cold Brew Podcast and friend us, and we'll friend you back. So right now it's time for some cold brews with the Bravest. Yeah, someone will get it. Someone more deserving than me. See, look, there you go.
Oh, my son just texted me, and I need to turn this off because it'll ring in the midst of all of this.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
You mean that you're old, and my ex-mother-in-law is walking towards us with her Bloody Mary.
Nice.
We do a podcast and talk smack.
Okay, I'll stay away.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Laura, thanks for having me out here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out. This is a super fun event.
Yeah, I mean, I just got here. This is the first time I've been to this. I know if you guys, was this like your 4th, 5th year of doing this?
Doing the
Brews,
responder.
yeah, the thirst
This is
responder.
our second.
Second, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
This is the second. Hopefully we'll have those 4 and 5s in the future for sure.
It seems pretty popular so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fire department of Goodyear, they do a lot of stuff in the community, and I think the outreach is great, and they bring in a lot of people. And,
Yeah.
You know, and then we have the School of Rock that's here, and so we have a lot of the parents from the kids that are up there. That's
Right.
the school here in Goodyear, and we have some great breweries out here today, so it's super exciting.
Yeah. So Laura, where are you from?
Originally, I was born in New Mexico, but pretty much have lived in Arizona most of my life.
Oh, okay, all
The only
right.
reason I was born in New Mexico is my dad, who worked for Palo Verde Nuclear Plant.
Oh, yeah.
West, had a two-year job out of state, and
Okay.
that happened to have been when I came along.
All right.
Other than that, we're really from Arizona.
Yeah, you've been here so long. You're basically native Arizonan at this point, right?
Right, and my dad, he's from Texas. My mom's from Arkansas, but my sister was born here. She's a couple years older than I am. And just happenstance, we were out of state when I was born. I think I was here when I was 3. So.
Oh, okay. What part of Arkansas? I've been there. My company's headquartered out of there.
Born in Blytheville, but her sisters and her whole family lived all over Mountain Home. They lived in Mississippi. They lived in Frogsuck, Arkansas. I mean, yeah,
Is that
exactly.
a real?
Yeah,
That's a real name.
place. Yes, it is.
Frogsuck. I thought Arizona had some inventive names
Right,
around,
yeah.
but yeah, Frogsuck. Oh my God.
I'd be Toadsuck. I might have gotten that wrong.
Oh,
It's one of
whatever.
Please forgive me, people from Arkansas.
It's an amphibian.
Right? But yeah, Blytheville, Mountain Home, Paragould, all those. I have family all those places.
Wow. All right. So, why'd you settle on Goodyear for a brewery?
Honestly, when my ex-husband and I were looking to start something, I'd owned a portion of the town of Wintersburg.
Yeah.
Back to, my parents bought it in 2000, I take that back, 1992. And then I became a part of the bigger running of it when I graduated from college, from NAU.
Yeah.
And I started running it with them, and then we had sold it. And then they failed to pay, and we ended up getting it back. And so
It went into arrears.
Right, exactly. So when I sold it the second, got the situation back, brought it back up to a very successful business again, and then I sold it all again, the whole town. I sold in 2005, bordering on 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
And I was the bank in that transaction, so they were making payments to me, right, and my mom and dad, and then when they came up on 5 years, they got a second loan and just paid us off. So it was
Okay.
at that 5-year part that we're like, well, what are we going to do? We've got this money, right, to go do something.
Invest in something, right?
But it was the housing crash was happening at that
Oh,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And, so we're like, well, what do we do with that? And I mentioned to my ex at the time, well, you like brewing beer, we could always like do a brewery. And I didn't mean it; it was a joke. And
Just throwing stuff against the wall, see what sticks,
pretty
right?
much, because we 1,000 things we talked about,
Yeah.
right? Like everything from redoing houses or
Oh yeah, house flipping was a big thing,
yeah,
right?
starting
Especially
other
when
restaurants, yeah, exactly,
right when the crash hit, yeah.
Absolutely. So, and I had mentioned that he liked brewing beer. He said, well, I own other restaurants and other businesses. So he kind of mentally grabbed a hold of that and
Yeah.
ran with that idea. And so when we found this location here in Goodyear, we're West Valley people, and we love the West Valley.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's see if we can do it. And it was up for sale, so we ended up buying it at the time. And then, I don't, if you build it, he will come or they will come or whatever the line for the movie is.
Yeah.
We all remember it wrong. And I think that was true because a lot of people said, well, why did you do this back in the corner of this parking lot? Like, it's not out on a road. You can't see where it is. It's like, because it was available. And sometimes you just have to seize the opportunity, right? And so we did that. And, based on the people that you see here today, it's a little popular spot.
Yeah.
We're one of the few, there are those in Goodyear and the surrounding areas, little mom and pop shops or independently owned places that aren't chains or aren't, but there's not very many. And being one of them, we get a lot of that. We get a lot of that focus from the general community where they want to come support local. They want to support.
Right.
So we do get a lot of that love from the community as a whole.
Yeah, the whole think global, buy local.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Drink local, buy local, support local.
Yeah.
Love local. Charity starts at home.
Well, then you have like the beer nerds like me who seek you out. It doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
We're going to come out. And the one thing I do like about Saddle Mountain, because I came here in 2016.
Okay.
And so Saddle Mountain wasn't my first spot. Yeah, it was. But my very first, my listeners are probably tired of me hearing it, but my very first brewery experience in Arizona was Wren House.
Oh, nice.
But then I moved to
That's
the west.
That's a good one, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh my God. But then I moved to the West Valley, and so because there wasn't too many. That now there are a few more than when back in 2016 there was only a couple.
And I think when I opened Saddle Mountain in 2014, my numbers are going to be slightly off, but we'll be close. We're around about like 28 to 32 breweries total, and now there's 128 to 132 breweries total.
Right.
In Arizona, so the competition really got out there, and we just have a lot of really good craft beer to go and
well, yeah, I mean, you have a world-class beer with Clandestine.
We do.
I mean, that won so many awards.
Also,
plus
5G won a gold at the World Beer Cup too. So our American wheat.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, you guys have a world-class brewer on hand, which is
Anthony's
super lucky.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you struck gold there, and then your food is amazing too.
Thank you.
I love your
Chef
food.
Cody, he's down here cooking, just down the little walkway from us right now.
Yep.
Doing some great food. Cody really has expanded the menu and elevated the food that's out here, so he does a really great job.
And I don't want to inflate your ego, but your staff is amazing too. Every time I've been here, it's just been wonderful.
We would not be here if it wasn't for the staff.
Yeah.
Right, John, who brought you out here today.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. His outreach is great. He's a good guy.
Your servers are great.
The servers are great. Everybody, and I have some longevity of employees, and I'm very appreciative to that because I don't think that's very common in the restaurant game.
Nope.
Where you may get to keep some managers for a long time, but typically, the servers and the bartenders come and go, and usually, in this industry, it's a stepping stone for some. They're bartending while in school, or they're serving while getting this degree, or working on a family, or whatever it is they're doing, and so you see a lot of that kind of back and forth where you don't keep them very long.
Yeah.
But like John has been here 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only 10 years old. I have the brewer's been here almost 8. Brianna, who's the bartender right now, she's been here the longest. She's a little more than 9 years.
Okay.
But I have some people that, stay with me, and God bless them.
Yeah.
My maintenance manager, Jesse, who's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, getting all this stuff done. He and I went to high school together. And then he started working for me part-time and just project-oriented things. Hey, can you do this for me? He's an unbelievably talented man. Jack of all trades, can build, deconstruct, create, fix almost anything on the planet. So finally, a few years after we opened, I just offered him a full-time job. And he's a jack of all trades. I mean, he doesn't just turn a wrench. He sets up tents and comes at 1 a.m. and fixes bathroom problems. And all that kind of stuff. He's great. So I do have some really great employees and staff. My current GM, the current chef, my sales guy, Chad's been here for forever. He's moved through the gamut. So I love them.
And now, when you first opened the Saddle Mountain, was it a full-blown restaurant, bar, and everything?
Yeah,
and were you nervous about being in the restaurant game? Because they don't.
I mean,
it's hard.
It is 100% hard. I do not think people realize that.
Yeah.
I had built Tin Top Bar and Grill back in 2001 and 2. I opened in 2002. that was my very first restaurant ever. But I had a used car dealership, a beauty salon, a general store, an RV park, a gas station, a feed store. So I've had
so many things.
Yeah, I've had, I owned a photography company. I did a cleaning company.
Yeah.
So I've done, and then I was a school teacher for a long time. I taught first grade for 8 years, and I just kind of dabbled in all of it. So fear wasn't really a part of it. Fear isn't the thing. It's like, roll up your sleeves and do the job you need to do to be successful and to move forward. And that's just kind of the expectation.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know if you're going to make it or not until you do it.
Well, but you bank on that you're going to make it.
Yeah, of course,
and you're going to work hard and do all the things. Currently, the economy has not been the best in the last few years, so I think every restaurant, all of them, have seen lower numbers. People's pockets aren't as loose to go out and just spend the money they want to.
Yeah, I mean,
and have entertainment.
Tragically, one of my friends, ground control had to shut down.
There you go. I don't know what and had to shut down exactly, but probably wasn't because the economy is so stellar.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So hopefully we're going to see some loosening of purse strings and the ability to spend more. I mean, we have great loyalty here. We have customers that I see every week.
Yeah.
But I used to see them 4 or 5 times a week, and they just don't have that. Now I see them maybe once a week, maybe twice a month, kind of deal. So, it's starting to pick up though. And of course, it's spring training in Arizona. So
oh, yeah, it's a wonderful time.
It's wonderful. And today's weather is phenomenal.
You couldn't ask
right?
for a better day. 75, sunny, with a slight breeze.
With a slight cool breeze, yeah.
It's amazing. That's my favorite. This is my favorite time of year in Arizona.
It's phenomenal. Yeah. Then we get to go see baseball games too, right?
Yeah, right. And you guys have a park just right down the road, Goodyear, right?
Yeah, like less than a half mile down the road is
the Reds and the Guardians. Yeah.
Formerly known as,
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's fun.
Yeah.
And we have a great relationship with the city of Goodyear. Not only the government and the city council members and everybody that comes to Saddle and visits, they're very supportive of us.
Yeah.
But we have a really good relationship with the ballpark as well. And we collab and we do a beer just for them.
Okay. What beer is that called?
Right now, it's a Goodyear. It's a Unicalis that we did for them.
Yeah, but I mean, the lagers are the best at ballparks. That's the way to go.
I mean, the IPAs are really popular, but I think lagers as a whole are coming in. That trend is leading towards the
I hope
Pilsner,
so.
the lagers, the blondes, the light beers.
People have been saying that for like the last 5 years, though. Like, what's the beer of the year this year? It's good. Oh, lagers are going to come back.
But they
when?
are. They really are.
Okay, all right.
So,
you see the numbers.
We had the huge uptake in IPAs 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Then we had a little bit of the barrel aged everything's.
Yeah.
And then we went through the sours, everything's.
Yeah, I was out for that one.
And now and IPAs have been popular the whole time. Don't get me wrong. They're not going anywhere. But you have those drinkers who they want to mow the grass and quench their thirst.
Right. Yeah, they sit at a ballpark and drink like 2 or 3 instead of 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and the trend is also moving towards no alcohol, like NA beers, NA cocktails.
They're big,
A lot of the general public is coming up and going, you know what? We're just going to try to move away from alcohol in this respect. And it's like, good on you. Just I have root beer and iced tea. Kind of deal. So so that it's all good. You have to ebb and flow and move with the trends, but stay grounded and focused and create a quality product. And I think Anthony definitely creates a quality product.
Oh, he does, yeah.
And so it's all good, yeah.
Yeah, and I tried that Now That beer over at Now What?
That's a cute story too.
Yeah.
Now What is our blonde, and Now What had another name. It's not a new beer. It's been on the menu since the day we opened. It was known as Warhawk.
Oh yeah, I remember that name.
Airplane centric.
Yep.
The Duke Air Force Base is right here, and so we have really kind of embrace that kind of pilot motif. So in those early days, all of our beers were somehow airplane named, right?
The 5G Warhawk,
was like the gravitational pull of
the
doing
tail draggers and all that,
all of that kind of stuff. But as we moved to market with that lighter ale, Warhawk was used and trademarked by another brewery, so
gotcha.
I couldn't use it. So we sat around for days trying to figure out what to call it. And at one point in time, we named it Battle Chicken, right? Because Warhawk battle chicken, and we all laughed. It was funny, and I liked it. And the graphics that they had all come up with were super funny.
Yeah.
And so, but reality of market is it's funny for a day or two, and then doesn't really have longevity, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird little name, super fun. And if we'd have just named it that here, no big deal.
Yeah.
But when we're going out to market, so we sat around trying to think of names, and I don't know, we've gone through 40 or 50, and we'd look them up and see if they had any trademarks already. Were they already on Untapped? Is it already out there in the market?
Right, you don't
Is it
need a
just
C&D
home brewer
already.
named it, it's no big deal, or does somebody own it and we don't want to infringe upon any of that? And I don't know, like the last 10 names were sitting, all of us, the brewer, the sales guy, myself, the GM, we're all sitting at the table together just hashing over names. Like, what are we going to do? Because we want it to be relative. And I'm going to cuss on your podcast.
Please.
So we're just sitting there. And Anthony yells at another name, and I look it up, and of course it's already taken. He's like, fuck, now what? Because we just couldn't figure out a name. And I said, I think you just said the name. I think it's the question and the answer. Now what?
That's
What are you
awesome.
doing? Let's go. We just won a lottery. Now what? Well, we're gonna go drink it. Now what? You know,
Yeah.
It's really drinkable beer, light, very popular. And over the 10 years I've been open, Warhawk, now what, is still top billing. It still sells almost more than anything else.
And I mean, maybe this is the beer nerd in me, but a blonde ale is way easier to brew than a lager.
Oh,
And so,
absolutely.
so just that turnaround, you could produce a lot of it really quick,
Yeah,
and it's cheap
yeah.
and easy.
And it's inexpensive. It is the least
Inexpensive, yeah,
problematic.
excuse
But
me.
it's also one of the first ones that's going to show a mistake. It's light.
Yeah,
You're going
right.
to taste something that's wrong. So you also have to have the quality of brewer and the quality of product and the cleanliness
Mm-hmm.
of facility. So when you make it, you don't ever know anything ever was wrong, right? You like, oh,
Yeah.
it's clean, it's lovely, it's right, carbonated correctly.
Like Brian Helton used to say, you can hide a dead cat in a stout.
Pretty much. Or in an IPA. I think they do. It's called Simcoe hops, right? Like, all those people that kind of
cure-all.
like that flavor. But it's fine, right? I mean, it's
Oh, the captain's
a taste
flavor.
for all
I see what you're
things,
saying.
yeah.
I get where you're going with that one, yeah.
If
But
you
yeah.
understand Simcoe hops, you understand that comment, right?
Yeah, but yeah, the blonde ale, you're right. It's right there. You're either going to get it right or you're not.
Absolutely. Lagers, pilsners.
Lager, yeah.
Yeah, anything in those light categories, you leave it on the yeast too long, you didn't get what you wanted out of it. There's all kinds of little problems that can happen.
Yeah,
You are
flocculation and all that
You
stuff.
are going to taste it in those light beers.
Yeah.
So the fact that Anthony can make that one's gone multiple times to the medaling round at GABF. I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff that he does.
Yeah.
And I'm so impressed with him as he's not totally self-taught. I had an old brewer that, helped him along, but Anthony really took the bulls by the horns and, educates himself all the time, goes to different brewers in the state that he has respect for, asks questions, and he's just really kind of hammered. He's been my brewer for almost 7 years now, so it's been great.
Yeah. Where did you find him?
Honestly, he came to me and he was a baker in my kitchen.
Oh.
And the brewer that worked for me at the time kind of says, hey, I need some help. And this guy in the kitchen kind of wants to come see it. Kind of pull him from the kitchen. And I said, yeah, part-time because we weren't that busy, right? And so he pulls him part-time and taught him some good lessons. And he makes phenomenal beer. And he gets award after award for it. So.
Yeah. So, any plans to expand?
I would love to. Actually,
Saddle
we're
Mountain?
talking to distribution channels right now. So get our beer out there a little bit.
Trying to get out to like California, New Mexico,
Well,
and all that?
We'll probably stay in Arizona as long as possible.
Okay.
Before, we don't want to spread the wings too far and then fail and fall to the ground.
And there's a lot of breweries who do that,
It
yes.
happens. So, we've grown slowly in 10 years. We've grown massively within the four walls, right? We went from a restaurant that got busy to a busy restaurant. So the four walls have grown really well over the last 10 years. It's just time to get out there and do the next step. Chad's been out selling our beer. We're in, 80 places across the valley, but we just are ready to that next revenue chain, that next adventure, which would be putting it out there in the wholesale market. So that's what we're currently doing, and hopefully that'll need us to produce more at a different location. And open up a production brewery.
Kind of like Renhouse did, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's always a good business plan, right?
Yeah, because you could produce there, and then bigger facility and then be able to distribute more, be in more places, more supermarkets and restaurants and all that stuff.
The 5-year goal, right? To be able to keep Saddle open, have all the great food, but have definitely a production brewery out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's purposeful and working.
To give Anthony a bigger headache.
There you go. Absolutely.
I think he can handle it.
I think you can too. Yeah.
Laura, thank you for sitting down and talking with me. I know you're busy. You're going around, glad handing everyone, and
it's a
thank you for
fun day.
taking the time.
I'm glad we got with no music on right now. Luke and Kaylee are about to start.
Oh,
School
of Rock was awesome.
School of Rock was awesome. These guys are out of Nashville. Then we have Casey and the Moonshine Band and Lacey, and forget my old lady brain for not remembering her last name, but she's going to play on the patio later tonight.
Oh yeah, so it's going to be here, the after party.
Yeah, so the after party also, we'll close everything down here at 7 p.m. and then everything will
What's up, buddy? Get nice and close, man. Get nice and cozy to that mic, because there's a lot of noise. Yeah, as you can hear, there's a lot of noise going on right now, and
there is.
Want to make sure we capture your melodious tones.
Definitely.
So yeah, man, Charlie, you and I have known each other for what? Maybe about like a year now.
Yeah. It's not been too long, but time goes slowly fast, if you will.
Yeah.
But,
when you're living in the moment, it seems. I mean, this is my own perception about you, but you are someone who fucking loves the moment, and you live in the moment.
Passion. I mean, it's what you have passion for, and that's why I've been able to embrace this community that we have, because everybody who I have met in this community has the same passion, and I have not been able to feel that met by anybody else. And we all have that passion, we all have that drive.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's not monetized.
Right.
Like a majority of the time, even with these breweries that we're supporting and these amazing people in the breweries that we're supporting, it's not a monetization passion that people are being driven by in this industry. And it's the fucking love of it.
And that's what I don't get paid for this.
I know you don't.
So
if you did, I would be right now too. No, but you're right.
It's the passion. It's the love for this community and the industry that it supports. That's why I do what I do.
I love it.
And if I'm going to talk about something, it's going to be about beer, because I fucking love beer.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We have. Growing up here, I didn't grow up here, but coming up here as a craft aficionado, if you will, we have a lot to take for granted. And I think, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I've caught myself on numerous times taking for granted what we have here. And you don't know that until you go and visit other places, because you have a passion for it. And you realize what we have here, not only us as a community, but the men and women that are grinding on the other side of this daily to produce what we're able to experience and appreciate. Like, that's why I do what I do. Like, I love it.
Day in, day out, those brewers and the brewsters and everything, they do it because they love it, not because they want to get rich. They do it because they want to do what they love to do.
It's a hard time right now, because it's going to be a rough year for the beer industry. You know that.
Yeah, I was talking with Laura right now, and the economy's not doing too great. People are visiting less and less than pre-COVID. Yeah, you can always go pre-COVID, right? With anything.
And you should. There should be a timeline with what we have to compare things to. I mean, I love it. For sure.
So tell me, how did you get into the whole craft thing? Because you don't just do beer.
No.
You also do food.
I'm a chef, so I've always been into the culinary side of it. But COVID, what got me into craft beer? Right before COVID, one of my friends was a partnering manager at Scottsdale Beer Company. Yeah. And he was one of the original ones that got me into craft beer.
They're now defunct.
Unfortunately, investors and people who are buying into what we have the passion for don't always have the same passion or drive that we do. So it's not, and we're finding that right now on a daily, where breweries are going out of business because the investors don't see the future in it. That we do.
They thought it was going to be like a money rush.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to put it. You're absolutely right. But I'm a chef, so I'm culinarily based, but craft beer has turned into culinary for me. Craft beer is endless. It is from the heart that goes into it, to the creativity, to the people that we know that brew it in their freaking garage. I mean, it's a craft, and a craft is so much stronger than culinary, because culinary can be craft. Craft is what you do with your hands and your mind to put things together.
I've seen people marketed their kitchen as craft kitchen.
Exactly, and that's why. I mean, but I barely got into the industry right around COVID, right before COVID. So when it shut down, what was intriguing to me were the breweries that were able to lift themselves up and keep doing what they were doing and sell it out of their windows.
What were you drinking beforehand?
Lagunitas, Sierra Nevada. I mean, I know those were some of the original. What made me quit?
No, I mean, like I was just wondering, like, what were you drinking?
So before I was drinking Lagunitas, Sierra Nevada. Big Sam Adams fans. Now that you look at it,
the major crafts labels.
Yes. So they're great beers. So I've always liked great beers. But when I got into our local scene
but they're not local, right?
Yes. I mean, I was talking to a buddy, because I have a buddy from Four Peaks, or OG Four Peaks, before I went through the transition. And coming in so late in the scene, I have a bad taste in my mouth for Four Peaks.
But when I got here, Four Peaks was already sold to AB InBev, so I never had that initial experience.
But now talking to people and seeing how the transition went, and it wasn't the best and whatever, it is what it is. There's going to be hiccups like that. There's going to be things that, to this day, I'm not going to not
You can't blame
support
them.
Four Peaks because of what they do. They're still doing amazing things. They had an amazing footprint on what we're doing today. They really brought together what we're doing today. So you can't hate that.
But why did they change Kilt Lifter from a Scotch ale to a amber ale?
I'm not AB at all.
I know.
I appreciate the question, but
I know you don't have the inside information.
I do not. No.
That threw me for a loop when someone pointed that out. I'm like,
even
really?
Know that, actually.
Yeah,
really.
It's called an amber. It's an amber now.
Okay, because it's more. Well, I'll tell you what my thought is behind it is because it's more approachable from a consumer standpoint.
Yes,
a Scotch ale. Scotch ale sounds like something.
I don't want a Johnny Walker in my beer.
No, or like
Dewar's or something. Like that.
Give me a Scotch ale over an amber ale, because now when you go to craft breweries and they call it an amber ale, you want to question the brewer. Yes. Be like, why did you call it an amber ale?
Yes,
I'm calling you out.
Yeah,
this is actually Scotch. No, I'm just
only because like for some reason in the last couple of years, amber ale's gotten a negative connotation in the craft community. Yeah. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's to that point.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
Right now.
People are wanting the lighter beers.
It'll come around. It always comes around.
So.
There's nothing wrong with amber ales.
Definitely not. But
all right. So enough about amber ales. Let's get back to you. That's why we're here. Not talking about the industry. We're talking about you.
That's not always a comfortable thing for me.
I know, but you know you best. Because you've lived with you the longest. You probably are the big supporter of yourself and also the biggest hater of yourself.
Aren't we all?
Right. No, but so did you go to school to be a chef?
I did. I came up here the day after 9/11 to go to culinary school because
they have culinary schools here?
They did.
Okay.
So my mom, my enabling mom, basically kicked me out of the house and said, you need to go to school. You have friends going to computer school. You have friends going to culinary school. What are you going to do? I was like, culinary school sounds okay.
Yeah.
So she enrolled me in the Cordon Bleu here.
Oh, I remember that program,
and, it changed my life. I mean, I grew up. It turned me into an adult.
Okay.
But I've always had culinary as a passion.
Yeah.
But once I got into the beer industry and I realized that it's just as creative and just as I like the beer industry more than I like the food industry. And it's hard, especially with my page, because my page started to be culinary.
Yeah.
But I mean, people that I meet on a daily basis are just, it's humble. passionate people about what we do.
Yeah.
And there's no competition. There's not. And unfortunately, when I go back to El Paso, Texas, where I'm from, and some of the high school people I went to school with are brewing now down there, and it's such a competition. They don't help each other out. They don't lend freaking.
There's no collaboration.
It's because it's a business aspect of it, which is going to bring us back to the community. But it's a business aspect, so everybody feels like they need to one up everybody else.
Yeah,
and that's what. I don't want to say that's what we don't experience here, because we do experience that, but we brush it off, and those people, those companies, those breweries are wondering why they're not succeeding right now in this harsh time, is because they haven't built the community. They haven't built the backing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's sad to say, because some of them are great breweries, great people.
Yeah.
But they just don't have the community mindset behind what they're doing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Or the foundation of why they're doing what they're doing and how they came about.
Right, yeah. And it's unfortunate that breweries come and go. And in the last 6 or 7 years, I was talking about it with Laura. When she first got in the game, there was only like 32 breweries in the state. Now there's like 120. And so the competition is a little bit more, it's a little bit fierce. But if you do collaborate and build each other up rather than trying to tear each other down, it's going to make the community better.
And you know what proves that? Is what Laura has done with this place. Because this place is out in the middle of nowhere almost. You have
especially when she started.
We call it Brewmuda Triangle.
Okay.
With Saddle Mountain, 8-bit, TCBC.
Yeah.
It's a triangle, and that's all that we have out here. So the fact that she's been able to do what she has a business aspect of it. But she's got the community behind her, because that's where it comes from.
And she knows how to manage people the correct way, the collaborative way, and
yes, for sure.
It's tough. It's tough to learn that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And not being a manager, you think it's easy, and you think,
it's hard. Yeah.
No, it is. It's hard to accept the fact that you need to. Yes.
And you can't always be friends with everyone.
No.
That's the tough part. And I'm learning that in my industry. I can't be friends with everybody. I want to be.
You can't. And what I've come to see, and me and my girlfriend aren't going to agree on this, but I'm able to overlook a lot of stuff with people that we brush shoulders with and people that are in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm able to overlook it, not necessarily, obviously not support it.
Yeah.
I don't need to be negative towards it or let them be them. I mean, and I'm gonna go back to COVID. What COVID taught me was that everybody is going to be themselves and in fear of whatever for a reason. So it's not up to us to question that. If it's politics or whatever it is, just let them be who they're going to be, and it is what it is. But you know who to support, and those people that have gained the community and the recognition are going to proceed and make this work.
It's like a meritocracy.
Yes.
You have to put in the work and show you can do it.
Meritocracy real quick, because
the explanation is sports.
Okay.
It's like basketball, football, baseball. If you do well, if you perform well, you're going to be a starter, and you're going to get paid. That's meritocracy.
More along the lines of that, as than being a coach and being like, okay, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you do it, and then so more along the lines of coming from an athlete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's what meritocracy is to me.
From an athlete's standpoint.
It's sports. Professional sports are, I wouldn't say pure because there's some money involved, but I mean, that's how the greats become great, because they perform.
Okay.
Like, your Tom Brady's and Barry Bonds and LeBron James.
Participation awards.
No, exactly.
Yes.
But anyway, back to you. What do you like to cook? Like, you went to school to be a chef?
I'm from the Southwest, originally from El Paso, Texas. So I've always been in the Southwest. Grew up with all the Southwest food. So what I like to do is take Latin or Mexican dishes and translate the ingredients into what we're accompanied to.
Okay. So deconstruct and reconstruct?
Yes, yeah. So
Okay.
like the tamale. Everybody's had a tamale.
Yeah.
Everybody's had a red chicken tamale.
Oh, my favorite is the pork.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I like to take sweet potatoes
Yeah.
and puree that in the masa. So it's sweet potato masa,
Okay.
basically. More sweet potatoes than masa, less carbs. And then you take turkey, because it's left over from Thanksgiving, and you make red chili turkey. So you basically do a red chili turkey sweet
Yeah.
potato tamale. So I like taking traditional
That's awesome.
recipes or traditional influences
Yeah.
and making them more what we're familiar with.
Can I give you one that?
Yeah.
Have you ever done a dessert tamale?
Yes.
Yeah, cinnamon, sugar,
Like
and
horchata almost.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
This year I did a banana walnut.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I've got some of my best friends, traditional Latinos who will not change their grandmother's recipe for anything.
Yeah.
So they scoff at me for making these. They make fun of me in a friendly way,
But that's not totally out of the picture because my grandmother used to make a dessert tamale.
the elote.
Yeah,
Maíz?
yeah.
I'm sure sweet corn
Yeah,
tamales are.
and with cinnamon and sugar,
Yeah.
and I want to say she also put raisins in it.
Yes.
So like that might be like a idea for you right there.
Yeah.
You can have it, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll get that off the clock.
No, but that's awesome. I like that whole like rethink things. Like if you come from the fusion aspect of it.
You have to.
Yeah, I like that idea.
With what's going on anymore, if you're complacent with anything that you do in life,
Yeah.
and even if it's just life in general, in your personal life, if you're complacent, it's not going to be good. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been there for sure.
What kind of beers do you like to drink?
So,
What's your style?
Huge IPA fan.
Yeah. Okay, me too.
Obviously, went through my hazy phase.
Yeah.
But it kind of got a little thick for me. So I think
Okay.
my go-to beer would be a West Coast IPA.
Okay.
I feel that's the crispest form of being able to taste all those bitternesses and refreshing citrus flavors.
The piney, resiny,
Yeah.
danky stuff.
But as creative as they're getting anymore with hazies, I'm enjoying them even more. Like,
Okay.
I love it.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Yourself?
Oh yeah, but I love IPAs. No matter if it's hazy or West Coast or American, whatever you want to call it. I like IPAs. That'd be my number one. I've always loved barrel aged beers. I can't say always, but
I can appreciate them. And it's a time and a place, but
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate barrel age just because of the complexity of it.
Yeah,
Pilsners have come up quick because Pilsners are, with the hops that they're using, they're really starting to have the build of an IPA with less of the body, if you will.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I brought it up with Laura earlier. Like, I've been hearing for the last 5 or 6 years old. Like when the new year comes around, like what's this year's next trend's gonna be? They always say lager. They always and it's never happened. When's it gonna happen? Is
That's
it gonna
a
happen?
safe answer.
Is
That's
it gonna
a
happen in
safe answer.
2025 or what?
Lager has been our staple for.
I know, but all the craft breweries keep saying it's gonna happen, and it never really happens. Yeah, it kind of just takes a little footing in the beginning, but then it peters out somewhere halfway through.
That's funny.
It will happen someday, but still IPAs are king.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest.
Maybe that's the problem with where the craft beer is, where it's going.
Possibly.
Maybe.
What do you like a pair? Have you ever done a beer pairing?
I love beer pairings.
Yeah.
There's a couple here in the valley that do it the best. I don't know if you're into plugging names or not.
No, go ahead, man.
Beer Research does an amazing pairing. They do egg roll pairings. They do bacon pairings.
Yeah. Matt, right? Matt
Yeah.
in BRI. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have great pairings. I love beer. Beer is my wine, so
Okay.
for sure. Oso does amazing pairings.
Oh yeah, they do.
Trying to get. We have a local Tiffany. We have a local caramel expert here in town. Well, I'm trying to figure out a caramel pairing because the creaminess of caramel with a line of beers would go amazing. So I'm trying to help her out as a local vendor, but trying to team that up with someone here that's willing to take it on.
Okay.
I think a beer caramel pairing would be freaking amazing.
I mean, they put caramel in like stouts and stuff, but are there any other stuff? Oh well, I mean, Cara Pils has that caramel toffee note to it
and
too.
It's not necessarily notes in beer that you want to have in the same.
You want complement. You want complement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Summer over at Desert Monks did a chocolate pairing for a Galentine's that we did one year.
Okay.
And chocolate. You think, what are you going to pair chocolate with? A stout, porter? Okay, no. Of course, that's obvious. But she paired it with everything from a Trapel to a Pilsner and it shines. Like, it complements it.
I remember way back in the day, this is like 2014 era. I remember I had some Hershey. I had a Hershey bar, and I had some peanut butter, and I was drinking it with a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and it fucking went beautifully.
Were you smoking?
Not at the time. No.
You can wink at me. You can wink yes for no and yes.
Blink twice. I was not smoking on that day.
I love it. No. I love it.
But it went well together. I loved it, and I did it for like 2 or 3 weekends in a row. I'm like, this is amazing.
It's the palate. Our palate is so freaking intelligent.
Yeah.
And the connection between our palate and our brain.
Yeah.
Like you said, our palates are crazy, and some people don't like this, some people don't like that, and why don't they like this? It's because of the connection to our brain we have and our exposure to it. So like you said, you were drinking a pale ale and you had a bite of chocolate and you're all, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you were open to that and it freaking worked.
Yeah.
If we're open, if we go into any situation and we're open to it and be like, okay, how is this? All right, I didn't like that so much, but it's not necessarily reflective off of how bad it was. It's just not my taste.
Hey, that could be the same, like the first time you ever heard Metallica or the first time you ever heard NWA or any number of musicians. You weren't open to it at the time, but 10 years later and you hear it and you're like, what is this? This is awesome. It's almost like art, right? Like with food and everything. Yeah.
Brings to another subject of why our community here is better than any community is because when you question any of us, they say, what brought you here?
Yeah.
And people will say beer. Okay, well, what is your major? What is your influence? What do you do? And it's always different.
Yeah.
Like I have met the most. I'm in corporate America. I'm a chef.
Yeah.
But I'm a corporate chef. I'm in corporate America. I have learned my most diverse experiences here in the beer industry.
Yeah.
And that is being accepted by everybody who I've never been accepted by before.
It's because we have a shared experience with beer. You're more receptive to who cares what you do. If we have this one experience here, I can
It's funny. I was having
it doesn't
a
matter where you
conversation
came
with
from.
Rachel one time.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and I was all, other than beer, what do we have in common?
Yeah.
She's all, our friends, and I was all, okay. Touche.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. Like this is all dynamics of people that.
Yeah, but
brings us together.
and friendship's all about connections. So I appreciate her question because I was thinking like, what do I have in common with Rachel? Like I like history and she's a big fucking history buff.
Yes.
I also work out. She works out way more than me, but that's an influence.
That's something. Yes.
So you learn about people and you be like, you might not have the exact same history or other passions, but there are small connections that you like. All right, but I kind of like you a little bit more now.
Yes, for sure, definitely.
So, what do you think of this event, man? Are you having a good
awesome.
time?
They always do it. Unfortunately, living out in the East Valley, can't come out here as much as we would like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Laura, the whole freaking Saddle Mountain crew. Lucky to have Smelter Town here today. They're freaking amazing.
I hope I can get them to come down here and talk for a little bit.
We'll figure it out here.
Yeah.
Pinnacle, love to have Wyatt out here. He's new in the industry.
I was surprised he came out here. He's always brewing. He's so busy. Like he's the one who comes out here.
I said the same thing, but he's He's a grinder. He's a fucking grinder.
And his beers are great.
They are. He's the busiest he's been since. So they opened and it was freaking nuts.
A year ago.
Yeah. He's had no break. They just got done having the what's the Waste Management Open?
Yeah, the Phoenix Open. Yeah.
He's got 4 collabs that he's just got done doing with Casual Pint, with Catalyst.
He does it all himself.
It is. Yeah, I know. And it's funny because I met him at his opening.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you need to figure out some help.
Yeah. But maybe they can't afford it right now. It's the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like how much can you afford an assistant, like part-time or full-time or whatever, but
part-time help's definitely hard to find.
True.
But being able to find people who can manage your expectations
and your vision
from afar, that's very difficult.
Yeah.
So
he'll get there. Everyone gets there at some point, but it'll happen at some point. Yeah.
They've got a great community up there too, so it's good to see these breweries in this hard time with the amazing community that they have formed.
Yeah.
That they still give credit for. Like I love it. I love the humility. I love the humility behind the industry. Like when it's there, they're the ones succeeding.
Yeah.
When it's not, it's because they're being backed by somebody who's eventually going to pull out.
I mean, cynical about it. Yeah.
No, but I am. I can't tell you a handful of.
I know you have a lot. You go because you put yourself out there. You're gregarious. You're in the East Valley where there's a lot more, and so you hear a lot more things than me. So the fact that you're telling me this now, it doesn't seem like it's false.
No,
I know you're being general. You're being gracious. You don't want to.
I want to throw a couple names out there.
Okay.
The shop is who has been day one, ride or die, freaking through COVID. That's where I got my craft wings, if you will.
Okay.
Very open. Dylan, they're amazing people. Very open. They're about the community.
I've been there plenty of times. They're good
right now. They're building an empire.
Okay.
And good for them.
Yeah.
Because they deserve it, and it comes from a good place.
Yeah.
Phantom Fox, Goat and Ram out in Mesa.
Haven't been there yet.
Those guys, let me know when you go out there. We'll chat. They're the same thing. They are great people who had a community before they even
open.
Yes.
Okay.
Like they've done it smart. They've done it very smart, and just great.
I've had their beers, but I haven't been there yet.
Great things from the ownership, Trent and Eric from their brewers, Val, who actually, a little tidbit on Val, she was brewing out in San Diego in California under some amazing brewers.
Yeah.
And she decided to come back here to help our community. And they laughed at her. They laughed at her for coming out here with what she had offered to her out there. And now what she's doing with Phantom Fox is amazing. Like
it's very similar to Will out of Catalyst, because he was in San Diego at the brewery.
You're absolutely right.
But he had to come back to help family.
Yeah.
And then, but he brought his knowledge out here and his passion.
Very young talent. Like I love it. Like.
Yep. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Charlie, I'm glad to have you on the show, man. I really appreciate you.
It's good talking with you.
You too, man.
You're a great guy.
I followed you before we even met, so yeah, man. But thanks for coming out. Cheers, man.
For sure. Cheers.
I'll start out by saying that I had one of the most major fuck-ups of all time with names. I was at the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Festival in Paso Robles, and I don't know if you're familiar with Firestone Walker, but the head brewer is Matt Brindleson, and I saw him, but I thought his name was Jim, because Sour Jim that I follow on Instagram, he's at their Buellton. He does all their sour stuff. I kept calling him Jim. Oh my God, I wanted to die right there. Let me crawl into a hole. I'm sorry, but can I take a picture with you at the same time? So that's funny. So you people call you Tim all the time?
I get Tim a lot. Yeah, out on deliveries. It's just kind of thanks, Tim, and sure, you got it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Time.
Yeah, as long as we get to keep your account.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what do you do there, Jeff? chef?
I guess if I had a business card, it would say assistant brewer, but in reality, I do whatever I can to not go back to a desk job anytime soon. So,
okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm brewing with Tim 4 days a week. I'm behind the bar 1 day a week.
Yeah.
I do a lot of our deliveries. I host our music bingo on Monday nights.
And you come out to events like this?
And I get to do fun stuff like events like this, yeah.
Yeah, but so you're out there in Clarkdale, way up by,
between
Cottonwood and Jerome, yeah.
Yep.
I've been in Jerome.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's our, we get, where's Clarkdale? And for our first response typically is, do you know where Jerome is?
Right.
And so, yeah, most people know Jerome, and so we're, about 10 minutes down the hill.
I was about to say, so I had some friends that come in, and they know you because of Copper State Beer Fest.
Yeah.
And they loved your was it the strawberry banana?
Yeah, we did the ready to bake, the strawberry banana cream pie smoothie sour.
Yeah, and you guys won probably because of that beer.
It was
People's
definitely
choice.
That one kicked well before anything else we brought down that day. So yeah, it was a popular one.
Yeah, so they asked me where's Clarkdale. I'm like, like when you go to Jerome, before you go up the hill, Clarkdale's right there.
You're passing right through. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you're up there. I do want to get up there. I haven't been up there yet, but I've had your beers because of Copper State. Because you guys, like the last 3 years in a row, you've won their People's Choice.
Lucky enough, 3 in a row. We appreciate all the support for sure.
And they've only been up and running for 3 years, all right? Or 4 years?
Yeah, I think that was the third. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been there 3 years, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just so I'm familiar with you guys. I've had your beers. I do want to get up there because I think I told you before we recorded that your reputation precedes you.
Yeah, it's our head brewer. Definitely, he's got a gift. It's a lot of fun to work with him and see what he's coming up with. And it's even if it's not your style beer, it tastes how it should, kind of thing.
Yeah. How did you get your love for craft and want to be a brewer anyway?
I just kind of hopped in. I always tell people I didn't start drinking at Smelter Town day 1, but I was there day 2. And so I just kind of was hanging around and drinking there and enjoying the beers that Tim was making and and then one day the assistant brewer position opened up and I was like, hey, I don't really know too much about what I might be doing, but I promise you guys I'll work hard. And they gave me a shot, and it's been a really good 2 years.
What were you doing
since.
before that?
I was in hospitality up in Sedona.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I was familiar with beer from one side of the bar, but not so much from the other. So.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Were you always like a beer guy, like craft beer aficionado?
Yeah, for sure. Once things really started to pick up, it's an easy thing to kind of jump into, and bounce around and try new stuff and see what you like and see what you don't. And it's a fun game for sure.
What do you like?
I'm your basic hazy IPA guy.
Okay, all right. I mean, I can't say I'm not.
Right. A couple trips. I grew up on the East Coast, and so.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Where you from?
Up to Vermont, New Jersey originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, outside of the Philly area. Go Birds.
Yeah, you were happy.
Big Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm a Niner fan, so I was glad the Chiefs lost.
Exactly. Yep. I think that was it's when the Eagles made it. It's like, oh boy, if it's the Chiefs, I think we got the neutral fans. If it's the Bills, it's everyone against the Eagles. So
yeah. Well, I mean, before the playoffs, I called the Bills Lions.
Yeah.
I think that's what everyone wanted, right? Everyone was pulling for.
Yeah, that was a win-win for everybody who didn't have a rooting interest. Yeah.
Right. I mean, but the Lions have been rebuilding since 1956, and they still are.
Yep. Another year. Next year. There's always next year.
Yeah. So, but when did you move out here?
2008.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Why?
So we're grad school originally.
Okay.
I went to ASU for a couple years and.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just kind of made my way up to the Verde Valley and haven't left. So
they had a great run in college football this year.
Yeah, a lot of fun for the first time, probably since I went to school there. So see if we can turn things around. So.
And it's kind of weird, not weird, but just not common because they went to a harder conference.
Yeah.
And then they won the fucking conference.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Who knew? That's all it took. Was better competition.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But then you moved up there, and then you were just
moved up there. Yeah.
This is my spot.
Smelter Town opened about 4.5 years ago. I've been with the team for about the last 2.5. But yeah, as soon as they opened, it was like, all right, I live 3 minutes from the brewery, and so it was easy to just kind of fall in and really enjoy the beers that Tim's making.
What's the craft beer scene like up there in Clarkdale?
So Clarkdale specifically, it's kind of just us.
Okay.
Verde Valley, you know, you got your other Oak Creek's been around, Sedona Beer Co., Verde Brewing, we got Belfry. So it's growing. We've got a couple good kind of bottle and can shops. You can track down some beers from out of state and from down here in the Phoenix area.
You guys get some pretty good business in
we stay steady,
Town?
you know, like any local business, we certainly appreciate our regulars.
Yeah.
Clarkdale's, you know, the Verde Canyon Railroad's based out of Clarkdale, so we get the tourists kind of coming through. We've got the hotel right upstairs.
Right.
But yeah, the regulars are very much appreciated at Smelter Town.
Yeah. And like the demographics that come in, is it skewing like Generation X, or you get like some millennials and Zs?
Verde Valley in general, you know, Sedona and Cottonwood and Clarkdale, a lot of retirees.
Okay.
You know, our biggest beers at the brewery are our Main Street Blonde and our Clark's Copper Ale, and so it's you know, your straightforward blonde ale and an American amber.
Like, give me a beer that tastes like beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Super approachable. It's like, you want something a little maltier or something, you know, on the lighter side. So,
okay, that makes sense.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's, you get your people who aren't necessarily big into craft beer, but they appreciate good beer. And so the blonde and the copper, you know, they fit that role.
But that's funny though, because at the beer festivals, it's your sours and your weird beers.
We come down to a beer festival, and it's, did you bring Modern Miner, the milkshake IPA, and did you bring Sluice Box, our smoothie sour?
Oh, Sluice Box, is that a nod to Juice Box?
Yeah.
By Dark Sky?
It's a whole bunch of fruit in there. Sluice boxes were like a whole piece of mining equipment. A lot of our Clarkdale was formed as the company town to support the mine up in Jerome, and so Smelter Town. A lot of our beers are mining themed. We're kind of running out of puns, so if any of the listeners out there have some ideas, please throw them my way.
Well, you can always go with the ghost puns, right? The haunted puns.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that's probably next. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing about Jerome, right? They got the haunted places.
You got the ghost stores.
The haunted hamburger. I've been there.
Haunted hamburger, fantastic.
Yeah, it's that. I was surprised how good it was. I thought it was like a tourist trap deal, but it's good.
It's one of those rare exceptions where you hear the hype and you see the crowds, and it does live up to it. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, thankfully I'm you know, the brew mornings start early, and this time of year are kind of in the dark. So far, so good on the ghost scene in the brewery. I've been left alone. So
yeah, I'm one of those. I'm a skeptic, but I really want to see one.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I'm a skeptic.
Right.
Like, come on.
Yeah, they can be out there. Just, you know, let me be.
Yeah. What So like, are you guys gonna expand anytime soon, or what are you thinking?
The next step is hopefully canning. We'd love to start canning.
I would love to see Smelter Town beers down here.
Certainly make distribution a little easier.
Yeah.
We do still self-distribute.
Yeah.
And so the cans would make that you know, more readily available.
Of course.
Even if it's not you know, bringing them down here, for those that come up to the brewery, much easier to take some home with them. So
yeah.
So we'll, you know, hopefully we'll get the canning going. Start with some of our staples: the blonde, the hop deposits, the milkshake, and the copper ale. So
well, see, that's why I want to get up there, because I've tried your beers at the festivals, but I've always tried like the not the one-offs, but the more niche beers, because that's the one. Because when I do show up to the festival, like Copper State, because I have my booth there, and they be people I talk to would be like, "Oh, you got to try that strawberry milkshake." So I go and try it. I'm like, "This is amazing," but I want to try all your other beers.
Yeah, we've got our staples. We usually will try and bring at least one of the regular beers that are in rotation down, and bring one to the festival. So there is something to be like, "Oh, I had the blonde down at Copper State. Let me try it up here," kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it is fun to bring the one-offs and to bring some of the fun stuff for people to try too.
Right. And what did you bring today?
Today we brought our hop deposits, our hazy IPA.
Yeah.
The Remediation Sour. It's a plum gosa that we actually do not even have on tap at the brewery yet.
Oh, okay.
So that's coming soon.
I tried that one because I had some friends come through and they sampled it and they let me try it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was about a 130-gallon batch of beer with 130 pounds of plum puree in it. So
Damn, that's a lot
nice and fruity, but still got that tartness.
Right.
And then our Slag Out Stout, which is one of those staples I was talking about. So a nice chocolate milk stout. Maybe a little warm for it today, but we don't often see a lot of dark beers at festivals, and so we try and bring one for the stout drinkers.
No, I appreciate that. I do like my chocolate stouts.
Yeah.
So I like hazy IPAs and barrel-aged stouts, but I like barrel-aged stouts because they really bring out like the chocolate and the smokiness. So chocolate stouts right up my alley.
Yeah, that's the fun. We get people who ask us about the Slag Out. Oh, what kind of coffee's in this? There actually isn't any. All that kind of roasty, those nice coffee notes actually just come from the grain. So, yeah.
And then that's just a testament to the brewing process.
Yeah.
Do you guys barrel age anything?
Not yet. Another thing we're hoping to do. That's just kind of a space concern as well. It's really a shame because there are, Verde Valley kind of grew up as Arizona wine country.
Yeah.
Old Town Cottonwood especially. And so there are wineries all over the place.
Oh, like Caduceus.
And we recently used some barrels from Rubrics. We did a barrel-aged brown sour with Lake Pleasant Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
So we brought the bottles down, the barrels down, but the aging was done down at their spot.
Oh, yeah, they have a nice spot down there. Yeah.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of room, yeah. And then that's the one thing, like, that when I talk to people in the industry, everyone always wishes I should have started a little bit bigger. But it is what it is. You guys have a really good name for yourself, so it'll happen.
We're hoping to. Yeah, it's and then the flip side of that is the fear of expanding too fast and losing what makes the beer special.
Right.
So
I was talking with Laura about that. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to expand too fast because I've also heard that story too.
Right.
You overextend yourself and you fall short of your projections.
Yeah, it's one of the things. Tim, our head brewer, is still involved in 99% of the batches of beer that we make, and so he's got his eye on it. He's keeping tabs on it, and so that consistency's there, and that's one of those things that we certainly don't want to lose moving forward.
Yeah, and not only that, but just like how much of the business side of it do you see?
Not a ton. We get our kind of keg sale numbers and kind of daily sales. I try and keep myself out of the business. Business part of it. It's
you left that side behind you.
I did my years with Excel and all the spreadsheets and stuff. I'm happy to just get up early and mash in some beer.
That's almost like the American dream, to do what you're passionate about and be able to sustain your living, your lifestyle.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wish I had done it sooner. It's like I said, I work 3 minutes from home.
Jeez.
I have a good time at work.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day. So. Yeah, it's been a really cool transition for sure.
You guys got any collabs coming up?
We've got a whole bunch, and so we're getting ready to prep for our Clarkdale Beer Fest. So let's see, we've got a collab with Bonehouse coming up next week.
Oh yeah, I know Rachel very well.
Yep.
She's awesome.
We've got a collab with the Arizona Society of Homebrewers. We do the Pro-Am every year.
I met him last year.
So we've got the Ash collab coming up again this year. We're gonna do a beer with Casual Pint and Sugar Bar
with Justin.
Here. Yeah. And then we're doing one with Simple Machine that will hopefully be ready for
Marshall.
the festival. And with Marshall.
Yeah. Marshall's a great dude.
It's always a blast. It's funny seeing people who come in from bigger breweries. We've got a 3.5 barrel brew house.
Yeah.
It's about as tiny as you can get outside of a home brew system. And so
pilot system.
We come up, we hand mash and hand pour all our grain, and so.
Did they ever come up and they're like, "Really, you guys do all this out of?"
That's one of the questions you get. The brewery is separated by a chain from the rest of the tap room, and so people come up and like, everything's brewed there. It sure is. There is rarely an empty tank at Smelter Town.
Is there any trepidation, when you guys do get bigger, that your beers won't taste the same?
that's from on the brewing side of things, yeah, I'd say that's kind of the biggest concern. Right? You want people who come in for hop deposits to have the same hop deposits that they had 6 months, 2 years ago.
Right.
And so I think consistency is a big part of the game, and so.
But you won't know until you do it.
Exactly.
And you have to make those. I'm not saying it's a mistake, but you have to make those errors to figure out.
Yeah, you don't know until you try, kind of thing.
Yeah, they fine tune it and you'll get it back. But like those first couple, you want to nail it first time.
Yep.
For the cost aspect of it. Right.
Yeah. It's rare that we've dumped a batch of beer.
Yeah.
We had one sour that just didn't want a sour.
That was my next question. Especially being a brewery your size, you almost can't afford to do it too often.
Right. No. Yeah. It's very rare. We've got our recipes down pretty good. And Tim and I, know the brew house pretty well to keep things running pretty smooth these days. So.
But it seems like you've been doing well, because if Tim kept you around this long,
I know.
You know what you're doing. Either that or you're a good student.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn. I pick up something new every day still.
Yeah.
It helps that Tim and I have a good working relationship and a good relationship outside of work too, and so. We have a lot of fun. Do
you have a beer that you guys brew that was purely your idea and your recipe yet?
The only one that was my idea, I didn't build the recipe.
Okay.
But, my mind is always like putting a pretzel whenever I try like a blonde or a golden stout.
Okay.
Those beers that look light but taste dark.
Yeah. So
we tried one and I was like, dude, I think we should give this a shot. And so we put out a Broadway or a golden stout maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And it's a nice light amber color, but it has those roasty stout notes. We steeped coffee from Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe over in Cottonwood.
Okay.
And it came out really nice. And so, I take no credit for the recipe, but it's my favorite beer that we had on tap for a while. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I would feel the same way. Like I came up with the idea, but Tim was the one who.
But he made it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Man. Anything you want to talk about before we?
I'll plug our Clarkdale Beer Fest.
Please,
our second annual. It's coming up on May 17th from 1 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
So second year, last year we kind of started small. This year we expanded, have a little more room. Got a bunch of great breweries coming up. Bat Brewery, Oak Creek Brewing, Birdie Brewing. Our friends here at Saddle Mountain, Belfry Simple Machine, Dark Skies coming down from Flag,
nice.
Lake Pleasant and Oso. Bunch of food trucks, bunch of vendors. It went off. I don't think anybody could have hoped for as well as it happened last year, and so we're hoping to run it back again this time.
That sounds awesome, man. Yeah. I wish you well, and thank you for taking time to come. I know this is a great event.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is my first time here, and I love it already.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I hope I get invited back.
Yeah, right. Same here.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up, Lou? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah. Where you from, Lou?
I'm from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Moved to Buckeye, so I'm born and raised here in Arizona.
Yeah. What are you doing at the event? Like, how'd you hear about the event?
I work for the Goodyear Fire Department.
No shit. Mm-hmm. You're the first firefighter I've talked to today.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Like, did you always, when you were a little kid, you wanted to be a firefighter?
No.
No?
No. Growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but
you want to be a professional baseball player, or football, or soccer, or something?
I guess every kid wants to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
Playing soccer, thought that'd be cool, but just being a kid, you don't think about that.
No, you grow up and you're like, oh, I'm not big enough, or I don't kick the ball hard enough, or whatever. Yeah.
And then, after high school, initially I wanted to be a cop.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just want to give back in some way.
Okay.
And just didn't work out. I didn't stop pursuing that.
Yeah.
And then had different jobs. Worked multiple jobs. Worked as a vet tech. Worked at a restaurant.
Really?
Worked as a high school teacher.
Yeah.
And, I love doing that, but it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So decided to see what else would kind of fit what I wanted to do. Firefighting was part of it.
Really? Okay, so you went to, like, I know like JC's usually, community college usually have spots. I know, or like courses to become. How did you become, like, did you have to take classes or?
Yeah, so I went to GCC.
Okay.
And got my EMT cert there.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of a
Oh,
cool
so you're an
introduction.
EMT for a while.
Yeah. Well, I didn't work as an EMT.
Okay.
But I knew I needed to get that cert to become a firefighter.
Gotcha.
Right, so I pursued that, and that was a great start because firefighters were all the guys that were teaching the program. So it was cool to network, get a little insight on what the next step could be. Got me started and pointed towards the right direction of entering a cadet program.
Okay.
And then that was the next step of learning what the fire service was all about, learning what this department was all about, and it was a great eye-opener for me.
Okay.
That kind of cemented my my belief in this is what I want to do. And
Gotcha.
It told me that, this is the right fit for me, and then I just kept pursuing it from there.
Yeah. What so like what like with your engine, what's your engine number?
Right now, I work down at 182.
Okay.
And I'll be moving in a few months.
Oh, really? Already?
I'm moving to the ladder.
Oh, okay.
Get some different experience and move around from time to time. Roll a little bit, but I'm loving it. It's the best decision I ever made.
Nice. I have a little bit. I'm from California, and I have two cousins out there who are firefighters. One is with the San Jose firefighter, and the other one's at Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Okay.
He was a hot shot, and then he transferred to Vandenberg. Now he's doing urban stuff.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's hot shots. That's something else, man. Wildland firefighters. That's some legit work. Man.
Oh yeah, he was telling me stories about like sleeping on the hill and stuff, like lighting backfires and all that stuff, and that's a different style, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've never done that, but I know that's no joke. You're out there in the elements and you're getting after it and carrying all that heavy equipment. And it's,
man.
Up to 14 days straight, right? Like that's no lie.
Well, he's older than me now, so he's got a bum knee and all that. He can't do that no more. But that's where when he was in his 20s, that's how that's where he jumped in, because that's what was available out there.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like, did you get lucky? Do you know other like people who have to do like the backwoods stuff before they get into urban?
I mean, so in my academy class, there was a lot of us that came from different backgrounds. And one of the guys I remember came from wildland firefighting. He had all that experience there.
Okay.
A couple guys did. So that was kind of their route into this field.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to get into it. And so for them, that was their route into this. Me, I had no firefighting experience. This is my first department I've been in, and a lot to learn, but it's been great.
Yeah. Do you like a lot of camaraderie and all that stuff? And
yeah, and that was a big reason what attracted me to this profession. Growing up playing sports or being part of something bigger than yourself, that's kind of huge, and that's a special feeling. And I wanted that. Having other jobs, you don't really get that. A lot of places say, "Oh, we're a family," but a lot of places it seems like it's just a catchphrase. In the fire service, you really see that's true. And so it was kind of cool to be a part of that and to come into that family and be part of the camaraderie. That's a big factor when you pursue this career.
So how long have you been a firefighter?
2 years.
2 years?
So I'm still very new. Still have a lot to learn.
Right.
But I'm loving it. It's like I know I got a lot more years ahead of me. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I mean, at 2 years, you've seen a lot. You've been through a couple seasons now, and you realize what's expected of you, and you're not like one of those. Or I shouldn't say that. I should say, this is what you want, and you're ready to do it for a long time.
Absolutely. And being new, the biggest thing is staying humble. Right.
Do you think you know everything like coming out, but some people do.
It's important to know that knowing what you don't know.
And
that sounds a little weird, but understanding that, hey, I've been on for 2 years, but that's only 2 years.
Isn't that like a
like there's a lot that I have yet to learn, and so staying open-minded and constantly training, constantly learning, that's important for the next wave of firefighters, right? Yeah. Not only for myself, but being able to pass that on and help the next class come in. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. Isn't that like a Socrates quote, like true wisdom is not knowing everything, it's knowing what you don't know, or some shit like that?
I don't know if it's Socrates, but that sounds like some great philosophy right there. Because it's true, right? Being humble. You know, my belief is when you think you've got it all figured out, that's when you're going to humble yourself. And, you know, and hopefully you just keep that mindset of being humble and keeping that growth and learning mindset. Yeah. That way you're always prepared for the unexpected, because that's the reality of it. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Yeah. I don't know what the next call is going to be. Try to prepare for that unknown.
Yeah, and even like all the veterans who've been there 20 years, they might learn something tomorrow. Yep. You never know.
Absolutely.
You always stay ready.
And that's, you know, the great part is being so new, having so many senior firefighters and senior guys that can give me some advice, and I have so many people that I can learn from and help me for the next chapter of my career. Whether it be I want to promote or whatever that next chapter looks like for me, I have people that I can learn from and do my best to prepare for the next step.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So what does an event like this mean to the firefighter, the community of firefighters?
I mean, it's awesome. Because it just gives us a chance to give back. You know, the proceeds from this, a portion of it goes towards our charities. Yeah. Which is just another way that we can give back.
Okay.
That was something that was huge for me, right? Because I remember when I was a kid and seeing firefighters come and step in and save my family members. Yeah. Right? That was a huge impact for me. And I've always wanted to be able to give back in some way, shape, or form. And whether it be on a call or whether it be a charities event. Yeah. Donating stuff to kids in need. Like, that's what I find fulfilling.
Or going to a school and showing them, letting them climb on the engine and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, we've had some kids come by for tours. Yeah. Some elementary classes, and you know, their eyes light up when they see all the cool stuff we've got. They see the lights on the truck. Even driving down the road, you see little kids wanting to wave at you. Yeah. And they get so excited, and you know, if there's any way you can make an impact on that next generation, even if they never become a firefighter, making that positive impact and giving back, that's what it's all about for my book. Yeah. So that's what I love and I find most fulfilling about this.
So something like this will help you be able to do that, and also give you the funds you need to do what you do for the community.
Absolutely. It's all about the community, right? That's what we're here for. So, yeah. You know, whether it's on the job or off the job, having that positive impact, that's important to us. Yeah. It's important to our local, important to our department, and we take a lot of pride in being able to do that.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the beers, man?
Yeah, this one is
Which
great.
One do you got?
This is a Thirst Responder.
Yeah, that's the first one I had today, yeah.
Yeah, so I got it last year. Got one of the 4-packs and took it home. Yeah. And it was delicious. Love it. And unfortunately, it was a seasonal thing, but I'm glad it's back in season now. So we get some more.
Just like a Shamrock Shake. It only comes back, and when it comes, you're excited, and then when it leaves, you're like, damn it.
That's
I wish I had more.
Yeah. So it's been great. Yeah. I love it. Gonna buy a couple 4-packs to go.
Yeah. I will too.
Again, hey, the best part is portion goes to charity.